Chill's gonna be first up versus a little JT. Man, walling this damage off. Chill's full on Holy Death Knight, summoning up the entire army of the undeads, everything at the Gargoyle or Valkyrie, whatever you want to call it. Got him some AMS, gonna go behind the pillar. Literally playing range build, just keeping Lil J out in the open, letting him get savaged by the undeads, just going for a little bit of a lot of side. He's literally playing a range class right now because he can go for Clawing Shadows as well as a couple of death claws around the corner. Lil JT with full ascendance, trying to see if he can ramp up the damage. Shields are available, just letting those pets chip away the shields little by little. Look at those coils, man, able to take away huge chunks of the shield. And we can go in around the corner with a couple of Clawing Shadows too. Dotted the guy up, trying to go for a grip. Are you not Clawing Shadows? I think you're not Clawing Shadows, are you? He's probably playing like a full disease build because that build right now is really strong. Very strong. Just letting those dots do damage. Got yourself the pet. All dots are back in. Lil JT trying to go for a couple instances here. AMS up for chill pills. Might be enough. Trying to go for a bit of a yoink. Go and grip him back in. Put him right next to him. Full blows for Lil JT. Might have enough damage. Dropping out a dome. Lichborn available. Lil JT got himself big procs. Oh, but chill pills got just a bit more damage than the other guy. With Ferna charging in, trying to get a bit of a payback versus Chills. Last time he played Chills, he just was denied his burst completely. Charge? What is this angles on charge, man? It's like I'm gonna go left and turn right. You have like you can beeline the guy, but these charges, man, sometimes they just like give you the weirdest angles on how you can rush the guy. That pathing, man, Blizzard. Although it's not the wackiest pathing we've ever seen. I think the monks with that one Sky Touch talent that's no longer in the game anymore. Sky Touch has some weird pathing, man. If you were in a Blades Edge arena and you were on a bridge, like if you were to Tiger Pump to somebody, it would literally charge you up the ramp, up around onto the bridge. It was hilarious. But Furnace, actually your cooldowns have not even been sent. You still have all your cooldowns. You just gotta, I like the mount, by the way. That's a fantastic mount. That's a beauty right there. Look at that thing. But he's trying to see if he can get himself a quick charge. That's going to be the pet charging out at Ferna to root him in place. Full burst is available for Ferna. Got himself every cooldown available. That is the full army of the undead collapsing onto the warrior. He's got a limited time and he's going to try to focus on Chills the entire time. Chills does not have a lot of health to work with. Death back last second into a blind to follow. Just trying to see if he can CC Ferna. Let those pets and let the undeads attack him. Try to fear the pets, but they're all undead. They don't care for fears. They actually will ignore your fear. That's full riders are in. A-bomb still doing work. Still keeping the dots rolling to Ferna. But shows there's just not a lot of health to work with. Could sacrifice his main goal to pick up maybe a little bit of health, but right now he just doesn't have a lot of options. I think he has to play the long game. He has to go maybe for a blind, set up a big A-bomb go or Apocalypse go onto Ferna, and maybe get the army of undeads again. Does have the pet that he could charge to root Ferna, stun, picking up a bit of damage, second stun by that pet. He's just gonna go for a drive-by. Picking up a little bit of healing, a little bit of damage, playing super safe. First aid. Ferna has to go for a leap. Does he have the leap though? That's a lot of recovery. That is a lot of recovery. I wonder if that doubles up with the leech bonus from Lichborn too. That healing. I wonder if it does. Full army of the undeads coming back online right now. Gargoyle joining in. Chills picking up a little bit more damage. Mages are running. Mages has got to be on the warrior though. You got to make sure they're not your pets are on passive. You got to make sure your pets are attacking the guy. There we go. They were on passive. This Magus I was a little concerned there. A couple of coils, but still not out of the woods. Ferna got himself to reflect into a blind really quickly. Chills just trying to see if he can pick up a bit of damage. Fear onto Chills. The pets can still attack the warrior. You have a stun. Pet needs a stun right now. Otherwise, Ferna could get a big execute on Chills. Full army, full pets, stun. Oh, Chills with an IB barely surviving that one. Holy, and does get himself a quick grip onto Conan. Conan trying to see if he can do some big damage himself right now. But Chills knows he can play sustained game versus Conan. Does get storm bolted while on the mount. Stunned for a second. Death Strike or two. Needs to go for a bit of healing. Battle Master Trinket to give himself something to work with. That's a full army joins in. He can't get away from Warrior while he's blade storming. Deathpact is up very, very soon. So at least he got himself a defensive. Does have to go for Deathpact Wraithwalk. Just getting himself out of that situation. If Conan can't leap or can't charge back to Chills, yeah, he can end this right here. He does summon up the ghoul. Looks like he had to summon up a fresh new one. Maybe sacrifice one to get a new one going. Conan needs to find himself a better angle. Chill's just gonna buff up his main ghoul. Charge on that leap to deny the charge for Conan. Does get the stun, so he's using that ghoul perfectly. Letting that thing CC Conan as much as possible. That is exactly what he needs. But Chills now will not have a proper stun onto Conan. He does go with Dust Strike. Chain. He could charge towards the ghoul, maybe. Oh man, first aid, he's got a third one. That first aid is the hardest working first aid in the world. Stun on to Conan, does get the army of the undead spawning in. And if you can just CC him, let the pets do work, let the mages do a bit of damage there themselves. That's exactly what you need, let the mages slow him down. He's able to avoid him for the most part though, but that mages is going to slow him back down with those frostbolts and get a couple of shadow bolts on him back to back. Does have quite a bit of range to it, man, he's a sniper. As Chills does at least put himself in a more winnable position with his health. He doesn't have IBF, maybe a Lichborn is available, Death Indicate to slow down Conan if he tries to approach him, as well as that pet to constantly root him. He does even have the pet defensive, so even if Conan turns the attention onto the pet, that pet can actually tank up and take some of the damage. Chills riding in, right at the Apocalypse, dropping in the A-bomb, dropping all the pets. He's perfectly fine tussling with Conan right now. He still does want to make sure he ranges him, let the pets do work while Chillpills backs up out of there. Where's the Riders? Riders just switched off to the wrong target, by the way, it looks like. But the Riders should be able to take it. Oh, Does gonna cheat death on the Chills. And did have to live by another IBL. But that is so tough, man. Is it Chicago next? It is Chicago next. Do you give him the honor duel or not? Also, I like a little... Wait. Oh. Neato. I don't think... Did I buy that when it was out? I think I forgot to buy that one when that was out in Training Post. I like the little, like... aquarium you got going on your back. That thing looks awesome. Or what do you call it? Is it an aquarium? It has some water in it, like a statue. I guess you call it aquarium, but it's gonna be the pets. Oh, actually, he got the gargoyle on the side. Hold on, that gargoyle is getting some sneaky shots into Chicago. Not the hardest hitting shots, but some sneaky shots here and there. It does build up in damage the more runes you spend, pretty sure, unless they change that. Did they change it? Maybe the gargoyle has passive damage. I forget now. It's been a while, man. I don't remember. Chicago does have Maelstrom, does have plenty of mana. That is quite a few pets surrounding him, but those pets are actually turning the attention onto the ghosts instead, or the ghostles rather. That is still able to build up Chicago quite a bit of Maelstrom, so he can get in and do a bit of healing. For Chills, he does have some cooldowns going back online. IBF in about 40 seconds. Death Pact is available. Rooted out so you can Wraith Walk out of it. Apocalypse coming back very, very soon. Should be able to get an army rolling into him. Chicago does not have a trinket. There goes the full army. There goes the Riders. There goes everything. Chicago may want to pre-wall this before a stun comes out. Chillpills with an AMS. If he stuns you, gets a full burst on you, this could be really bad. Does get a Bulwark Totem, so he's taking up as much as possible. Blind for a second. Apocalypse to follow. That's going to be more totems for Chicago, but no longer has himself the Bulwark. It is refreshing little by little, but those pets are still doing damage, ruining some of those pets, but the range pet's still able to get quite a bit of value. Chillpill's riding out in the open. He's trying to see if he can get himself a better position so he can maybe slink in some damage. He got himself full bar runic power, so you could set it on a couple of death golds. Stun onto Chicago, does get knocked. Chillpills needs to maybe reposition behind the pillar. Wolves are back up. There's going to be a lot of damage for Chicago. Trying to see if he can dome it down, because there's going to be a lot of elemental damage versus Chicago. At least you can reduce some of those elements at the very least. Lichborn to follow, just to rotate a defensive wall out for Chicago. AMS up for Chills. He knows he's not in a great spot. He's got a couple of riders on Chicago. At least Nazgûl back there, as well as sacrificing the main pet. Summoning a professional one, hopefully in just a moment. Definitely is going to need that pet. Wraithwalk to try to see if he can win Chicago out of the route, because he needs to be mobile. He can't be standing next to Chicago, because I think he just loses if he plays sustained based gameplay. Stun maybe gives Chillpills an opportunity to have a go. Does get a couple of the death claws too, and he's trying to see if he can maybe get himself around the corner versus Chicago. Does summon up the army of the dead. That's going to be IBF. He's in a bad spot right now in terms of health. That's going to be a counter-strike totem. It's not going to feel great. May have to eliminate it. Does have a death pack in case he needs to. Chicago to turn things around on you, but Chicago is super, super low. Does not have any way to live this right now. Might have to death pack and does death pack just to get the kill. He's having to play the long haul game just to land these kills, but he's bringing it back for his team little by little. Flack's going to be up next. Immediate blind out of Chills, but I think it just lights, man. I don't know if there's a way that Chills can somehow turn this around. Stuns out of Flex. He's walking in fully fresh with every defensive available, and Chills just absolutely spent after back-to-back matches. Flare down for Flex. Now it's up to him to bring it back for his team. Chills held the fort, but now Flex needs to find a way to avenge his team. He's got Feral Druids he's got to fight against. Double Feral Rogue, an Outlaw, as well as a Frostmage? Yeah. But now, first of all, he's got to go through Caneric. Cyclone on the main pet. Caneric is still slowed down. Flares are down too. Looking for a bit of a reset. And that's going to be Feigned Death for Flex for just a moment. Does avoid the stun by the Feral Druid into Freeze. Lava has just nothing against DKs. It's literally all magic damage. Yeah, it's all fire damage. It is a physical attack, but it does full fire. It's basically a magic hit from melee. Yeah, it does nothing. You literally just have to Storm Strike him or Wind Fury procs. That's the only physical attacks you got, but they are pretty solid. They are solid. I think it's just your build being a little bit more magic build or elementalist build rather. Ooh, I was watching the freezing trap. I was wondering, like, if he leaps in and stuns, is he gonna get frozen? Does get a couple of grenades on him, a couple of explosives. DJ Flex backing up out of it. Canary does have a couple of bleeds on the Flex. At the very least, Flex can remove those dots with a manic bandages. He probably, hopefully, has his own first aid as well. But that Moonfire is definitely gonna stop a lot of his manic bandages, though. He can remove those bleeds, but he's got to get himself recovery. If the main pet getting hit with a clone, first aid, Canary used to have a go, but you have sight. You literally see him. He can't sneak up on you. Binding shot, he has to get bound. He does get bound, but in the right direction. That's exactly what he needs. Flex trying to see if he cut across. A couple of damage on Ranger to Canary. Canary just walling this off to try to see if he can still stay on point. Stay on Flex. With the route to follow, got Barskin, you're okay. Flex trying to get whatever recovery he can. There's a down. He's trying to cut out the Feral because that's all he can do right now. He has to play it super slowly. He has to play it steadily. Does go for a knock. Cyclone on the main pet. Canary try to see if he cut across. Freezing trap waiting for him. He has to go in. He can't just not go in. While Flex is out in the open, he's going to get a decent heal. Battle Masters together with Exil gives him a little bit more health to work with. Canary got full Heart of the Wild. Stun around the corner. Flex is not going to go towards aggressive disengage. He's trying to see if he can back up out. He's trying to see if he can poke away the Canary. He's not want to fight him. He doesn't actually want to see him. He doesn't actually want to be next to him in melee. He just wants to see if he can land a couple of those grenades around the corner. That's literally what he's trying to go for. While the pet is keeping the attention of Canary. He's trying to get in, but he also wants to make sure he's not going to hit either. He has no health to work with. 64% dampening is what's causing him to play this super slowly. Canary needs to get in, get whatever bleeds he can. Even a Moonfire to Flex, he's going to get hit by the bird. Ah, it's not going to feel great. I think it might just be lights, right? Maybe? I think so. I'm assuming he just starts surrender. So whoever's up next better go. Because I don't think Canary can play more. He's like, yeah. I think it is full surrender. So it has got to be either Star Claws, Whir, or Fairlin. You guys got to go next. And Whir is going to be up next from one stealthing to the next, though. First aid equal to my AMS in terms of healing. Yeah, first aid is nuts, man. Bro, get the chance of no poison with the Feral. Yeah, Ferals are tough, man. Ferals are rough. They also will kite you out, too. They'll put up bleeds and they'll just, like, ignore, like, get away from you while the bleeds just rock your world. Whir does get hit by the pet with a stun. What was that chain from a distance? That stun still goes through though. Whir denied the restart. He needs to get proper go into Flex. He is walking through all the traps. Freezing trap, barely avoiding the freezing, but he does have a cloak. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe he was just able to cloak it. Turning the attention onto the pet. His adrenaline rush should be back up, I think, by this point, right? He just funneling damage into that pet. He does have grapple hook, so if he can grapple around to catch up to Flex, kidney shot, perfectly catches him, trinket. Flex has to respond. He goes in for a harpoon, just a route, Whir into another route to follow. Tries to create as much space between the two. He got grenades, big grapple for the rogue to cover the distance into a killing spree to get on top of Flex. Flex unable to root the guy in place. Binding shot. He does not have a human racial for this, so he's gonna get stunned up. He's trying to see if he can not get stunned. He's so low though. He's so low. Into a blind into Flex. He just goes in. Wall for Flex. Root again. He got Whir super low. Whir, oh man, that is so close. That is so close. Flex does get himself a bit of shielding from being a sentinel, but it does so little at 74% dampening. Fairlin, you just gotta get in. Literally bury that man in ice. You have eyes available on the far side. Flex, his camo is barely keeping him alive. It's not doing a lot of healing. It's like 2% heal every few seconds, but with dampening it's like very little, isn't it? Flex just going in for that pet sack or Master's Call, one of those two. They basically have the same animation, but sometimes you can't really tell. I think it might have been Master's Call to make sure the slows are not on him. Fairlin does get hit with the CC. Body shot down. It is going to be DJ just trying to see if he can poke around the corner and get a bit of damage. Fairlin does have 2 ice blocks. You're not going to be able to heal with his blocks. I think you got to get aggressive versus Flex. If he attacks you, will you block it? Otherwise, I think you're just going to get super aggressive. Like hyper aggressive. Full root onto by Flex. Try to see if you can end this right now. Ice block for Fairlin. If you got proc damage, you should just get in with procs instantly. I don't know if you got blink breath and just have a go. Maybe he got a bunch of traps all around the place. So if you are gonna blink, he's gonna trap you. Oh, it's perfect. Kill shot around the corner. Does get a grenade. Oh, it's done. All right, Star Claws. You're the last one. Flex has Turtle. He's got a trinket. He doesn't have a lot of healing at 74% dampening. Flares it down. Do you see him? He's guessing. He has a good guess. Oh, almost caught him. Almost caught him. Trap's still out in the open. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, dude, this is rough. Who's gonna win this? I know it's a stealthy duel, but like each move here counts. Eyes are up. He picks it up in bear form. Sees Flex right next to him. Flex missing the freezing trap. Unless he can knock the Feral back into it. He got grenades. Root on the Feral. Ursos to keep him close. Binding shot to stop the Feral. Does have a trinket. Does he burn it? Does send it. Bear form. He's playing very, very defensively. Does get rooted for a second. Flex got himself damage. He's got combat. He's got burst. Trinket to follow. Stun into claws. He does have a wall. Needs to use wall and Barskin when possible. He's not going to be able to heal. He got Barskin, but I think he's behind. I think there's no way for him to come back. I think he can't heal right now. Heart of the Wild and start healing whatever health you can. You need to kill Flex right now. You just stun him, lock him down, but a kill shots are coming through. Turtle, oh, he got enough damage on you and Turtle so you can't even stop him. Flex brought it back for the team. Was it 5 or just 4? Chills went for a proper massive burst damage. Jesus, that's a lot of damage. But the Flex brought it back for his team. Oh man, where's my 500 gifted subs? Someone pick up the phone because I called it. Oh, in Chicago you did. Oh man. Oh, this is the best. This is the best duels where it's like everything is on a line. Edge of your seat. Who's gonna win? Every move counts. Making a single mistake. Setting a cooldown a little too late.